Hi, Art. Hi, Dick. You guys are both on mute, so I can't hear you. Hi, Chuck. You're on mute also.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, Dick.
Okay.
Hello. How's everybody? Art, it's so good to see you.
Art needs to take himself off mute if he can figure out how to do that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
So we're having our social time. Is that right, Brad?
Allegedly, you know, normally at this time, normally at this time we can see.
Oh, there we are. There's Barb.
Yep, but we can't hear her.
Oh.
And usually we see Ryan or somebody at the computer. But
oh.
So yeah, this is a impromptu social time. I don't know if it was planned. And we probably need to put in the chat. Yeah, it says right there, working on some tech difficulty. Be with you shortly.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you, Brad.
What's that?
I'm glad we have you.
Well, I'm going to say hi for Art since he doesn't have himself off mute. I'm going to assume Art would have said hi back to all of us if he could get himself off mute.
You bet.
I'm not sure if he's hearing me or not. Anyway.
It's amazing to do it both in person. It's not easy, I know.
I was just going to say, I'm hoping to make a Ronald McDonald House golf tournament announcement via this Zoom/hybrid method. And I'm curious to know how it goes because I don't think anybody's tried to make an announcement in the hybrid model unless they're in person yet. So,
wow. Well, if anybody can do
it. Sure. So I'm hoping Ryan can get the tech difficulty worked out, or it's not going to happen. Or it's just going to happen right here with the online crew.
You bet. We'll hear you. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Chuck.
Was that you, Chuck?
Yes. We're waiting for technical difficulties to be straightened out.
Uh-oh. Well, we have our own little chat room then, don't we?
We do. A good group.
Indeed.
Wish someone would do. I wish somebody could do something about this weather. It's awful. It just gets old.
You know, I heard on the radio yesterday that Chicago reported that they had 1 day in 42 days with sunshine.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that awful?
That is awful.
That works on your mind after a while.
It does. Makes you think we're living in Seattle or Portland or kind of
right.
Oh.
So, you know, just to help you guys feel a little better, according to my weather app this morning, Saturday is supposed to be 68 and sunny.
Good. How about Mother's Day?
Brad, I heard it's supposed to get in the 80s next week.
I saw that too, like high 80s. I didn't really like that.
That's insane.
Probably
winter to spring.
Probably means high humidity.
Oh.
Hey, Gary.
Done along with that.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
Yo.
Why don't you tell us about your flag on your window? I noticed it was there this morning.
Yeah, there is a group in
Nevada, Iowa.
Nevada. Thank you, Ray. And Ray Mustin brought me a flag because they're making Ukrainian flags as a fundraiser, right, Ray?
That's right. And they're circuit. In fact, as part of their 100th anniversary celebration, they were cranking out those flags for people to have as a donation to support the refugees in Ukraine.
Cool.
So anybody wants one, maybe we could order some more.
What's the company that's doing that in Nevada?
They're volunteers. It's Denny and Kathy Skinner and family. And there's a group of people that decided this would be a great way to show our support for the Ukraine and to raise money.
Wow.
And
Denny was district governor, I think the year after me, 03, 04.
well, that's why you're in that picture singing. And
Yeah, right.
Ooh.
Are you singing today, Ray?
pardon?
Are you singing today?
No.
You are?
Oh, yes, I'm singing with you today. I thought you meant, am I singing for Bob? No, I'm not singing for Rotary today, but you and I are going to sing at 2:30.
That's what I hear.
Wow.
You guys doing a duet for some special cause?
Yeah, we're going to donate the proceeds to the golf outing.
Nice.
Hey, have you filled all your volunteer slots yet? I haven't looked.
You're stealing my thunder, but I'm okay releasing information ahead of my official announcement. We have 25 foursomes committed. We've got 11 more available, and the typical McDonald's owner operators have yet to register. So we're expecting some of those 11 to get scooped up by them. So we're getting down there.
Brad,
How about your volunteer list?
Volunteer, we could use more volunteers. And
Need a rover? Somebody runs around the cart?
Last time I looked, there was nobody signed up for rovering. So there was multiple spots available for that.
what's the date?
You can put Linda and I down. We'll rover.
It's Monday, June 6th. So I will, Ray, I will inform the Heather and Jessica at the house to contact you to confirm that.
I would do that too, Brad.
Okay.
What I tell people is I don't play golf. I'm retired. I don't have time.
Yep. You're retired. You don't have time to play golf.
Yeah, well, I know why, but
You know why he doesn't have time to play golf?
he's working, making beautiful things.
Oh yes. I actually was stepped foot inside your workshop recently.
Oh, did you leave a quarter on the counter?
As far as you know, I did.
And Ted stole it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
All
Well,
good.
Eric is connecting to, there's some connection. They look like they're getting closer.
Oh, yeah.
What are you seeing, Chuck? I'm just seeing the boxes.
It just says that Eric, he's connecting to audio. So I don't know if
Okay.
if they're getting, no.
Brad, would you like that? Going back to the tournament, would you want to put me down for that?
Yeah, I will do the same thing that I will do for Ray and Linda. I will
Okay.
let the house know that you guys are all interested in that and to contact you to confirm it.
Cool.
Because I know there's a sign up genius. I don't want to be so bold as to actually sign you up, but
Right. I need to know hours and needs because
Yeah.
I've got an afternoon commitment.
Well, you know what? While we're killing time here, I bet I can find this answer through the website volunteer link. And it says course rover 10. There's two time frames. There's a 10:15 to 1:30 p.m. and a 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
We'll take the morning one.
10 a.m.
Unless Gary wants it.
Well, there's 10. It says there's room for 10 volunteers.
Oh my.
I could do the morning. I might have to sneak away a half an hour early, but that would work.
So I'm going to again let the powers that be at the house know that you guys have both said you're available and willing to do the morning and to contact you to confirm.
Thank you.
Yep. Hi, Anna, unmute.
Anna, I like this smile. You don't need to unmute though.
Well, since you asked, but you really didn't, I've never had a cavity.
Whoa.
I know I've had a lot of accomplishments in my life, but like, I know I'm pretty proud of my dental care. So thank you.
Does that mean you've never lived through a period where you neglected your teeth?
Yes, that is true. But I think it also might mean that I have maybe.
Hey, everybody on Zoom, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
We're having some issues with the audio feeding through, as you can tell.
Yes.
So we're going to try to do this a little old school. I'm going to hold my phone up and try to show you guys what's happening. Brad, we're going to probably have to wing your announcement from here.
Yeah.
And we will absolutely knock it out of the park.
So does that mean
I'll be right back with you guys.
Does that mean like I can speak and you can relay everything? No, he's not hearing me. We'll see how this goes. Anyway, Anna, were you done talking? I think you got interrupted rudely by Ryan there.
I know everyone was just on the edge of their seats to hear about my history of dental care.
We want to know about your teeth, Anna.
We're ready.
Right.
Thank you.
No,
I think it really more just reflects on my relationship with the dentist.
We don't have a comment, so you got me. I don't know what fish you want. There we go. Oh, beautiful for space, the stars forever with soft rain, for purple mountain majesties above the frozen land. Oh, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. I want to welcome everyone to Iowa City Rotary. I am your president, Eric Weiler. It's great to see everyone every Thursday at noon. And we're going to start off with introducing our visiting Rotarians and our guests. I'd like to introduce Kelly Brown to introduce our visitors today. Kelly.
Thank you, Eric. Welcome, everyone. If you have a guest, please make your way to the front of the podium, and we will have you state your name and then your guest's name. Thank you. And then we'd also like to welcome our visiting Rotarians. Dr. Lori Sundberg, not only our visiting Rotarian, but also our speaker today. Welcome from downtown CR. And then we also have Jody Pellerin from downtown CR as well. Welcome.
I have two guests as well, two great Kirkwood friends. I have John Rye. John is the director of the Kirkwood Regional Center at the University of Iowa. And I have Lori Murlock. Lori is the Associate Dean of Kirkwood's Iowa City campus. So welcome, John. Welcome, Lori. Hi, this is Bill Furlong, and I'd like to introduce my wife, Meg Furlong, who's our visitor today.
Here, my guest today is Christina Milliken. Christina, would you stand up? She does business development for Junior Achievement. She has joined us via Zoom several times and now is joining us in person. And I just want to take this opportunity to apologize to our Zoom friends that Ryan and I are doing the best we can, but something happened and we're not sure about the sound, so we're waiting it. And
they can hear, I just confirmed.
They can hear, so great. Okay, we're gonna make this happen. Rotary should not be something where you really want to drink afterwards, but however, today might be that day. Okay.
can go before the mayor here, that's an honor. It's my pleasure to introduce to you Ian Carlson. Ian is with the Northwestern Mutual, and he's a financial advisor. And they always taught me in sales school that you're supposed to ask for the orders. They asked, would you want to member proposal? And he said, yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right. Way to close it.
You and my guest is almost here, coming from another meeting, but I thought I would do the introductions now. I interviewed Supervisor Roy Sam Porter, who is on the Johnson County Board of Supervisors, and when she come in, just wave at her and say hello.
Special welcome to all our visiting Rotarians and guests. We meet every Thursday afternoon. We'd love to see you again. We also want to do a special shout out to our friends who are joining us on Zoom. And I'm going to pass the microphone over to Barb Thomas, our past president, to introduce our friends on Zoom.
Okay, putting me to the test again. All right, welcome to Dick Johns, Linda Farkas, and with 2 exclamation points, Arthur Nowak, Benny Hawkins, good to see you, Benny, Brad Baldus, Brent Bonner, Chuck Swanson, Christy Felberg, Diane Huber, Dick Ferguson, Gary Pesha, Jeffrey Dancer, Jesus Garcia, John Kenyon, who reminds us he's with the City of Literature, Kim Casco, Linda and Ray Mustin, Mary Ellen Lewis, Mike Carberry, Pam Funk, Robin Hepker, Sean Headland, Tim Walsh, Tom Cook, Vanessa Miller, and Bill Easton. Great to have you all join us.
That's a wonderful crowd on Zoom, and wave a special welcome to all of our Zoom guests. Now, if you have a Rotary announcement, I'd invite you to come to the podium. And I want to invite everyone, our Rotary Board is doing incentive to help recruit potential new Rotarians to our club. So if you know someone who would be a good Rotarian, it could be a coworker, someone you know in the community, we will purchase lunch for them between now and June 30th. So make sure to let me know in advance, and I will let the Highlander know. But we'd love to welcome your guests and treat them to lunch at Rotary sometime in the next 2 months. So do we have any Rotary announcements today? Vern Folkman has an announcement from the Rotary Foundation and some recognition. So please help me welcome Vern.
Okay. Yes, it's my honor to honor 2. We try to do 2 each week because we got a little behind because of COVID. But anyway, my first one here is Madeline Lindar. So come up, Madeline. She is a Paul Harris Fellow +4, so she gets a nice pin with 4 sapphires. Thank you. And these one, Karen Hughes, she's Paul Harris Fellow 1, so she gets a pin with 1 sapphire. And I'll take it out to the table because I don't care. Does not want to come up, so thank you. Where are you sitting, Karen? Thank you.
Let's wait a second and we'll give Karen a nice round of applause for Vern presents her with the certificate here.
Eric, coming in.
Congratulations, thanks for everyone's generous support of the Rotary Foundation. It really makes a difference, not just in our community, but around the world. So thank you, everybody. Now, Barb Thomas has an announcement about our Ronald McDonald House soft outing.
Okay, I know that Brad Aldis is chomping at the bit on Zoom to try to show you his screen. And well, that's not going to happen today for you in the room. But I want to remind you, now, Brad, you can do that with the Zoom people. So you can do that there. Is that in early June, I believe it's the first Monday in June, is the Ronald McDonald House golf outing. Our club is heavily involved in that. And we need all kinds of support. So what we lots of ways that you can sponsor the Ronald McDonald House on that same website. It's so handy. And then in addition, you can volunteer. Now, if you're an early bird like me, you can come and do the setup. I did that last year, rode around, beautiful pink line on that golf cart, putting signs by each hole, but you can help throughout the entire day. Lots of opportunities for volunteerism, lots of opportunity for your financial support, for your, spiritual support of a great cause. And I believe that Brad said that we are basically this close to, over the history of our time in Rotary, raising $1 million for Ronald McDonald House. Now, are we going to meet it this year? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you can be the difference maker that can help us get to that $1 million amount. Okay, so go to the Ronald McDonald House website. The link is going to be in the Zoom chat.
Only 11 foursomes remain.
Only 11 foursomes remain. So if you want to golf, you better get on that right away. Okay, thanks, and I hope I did okay, Brad.
We have a wonderful program here today, and we brought in a special Rotarian to introduce our speaker. And this Rotarian happens to be an alumni of Kirkwood Community College. So I'd like to introduce Rotarian and Iowa City Mayor Bruce Teague to introduce our speaker.
Well, it is an honor to make this introduction today. One, because of my connection as a student at Kirkwood, but of course, I'm an alumni of the University of Iowa, so I'm not trading. Just giving honor where honor is due. But we have a special guest, a Rotarian, that's going to be presenting here with us today. Dr. Lori Sundberg is the 5th president of Kirkwood Community College and the first female to serve in that role. Sundberg holds a doctorate of business degree, business administration and management from St. Ambrose University, as well as a master's in business administration and marketing from Western Illinois University. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree from Knox College with a double major in economics and history. Prior to coming to Kirkwood in Iowa, the best state in the world, Sundberg served for 8 years as the president of Carl Sandburg College in Galesburg, Illinois. Sundberg was the 6th president of Carl Sandburg College and the first graduate and female to lead that institution. She has more than 25 years in community college leadership, and we're very fortunate to have her in our community. And she was elected by her colleagues from across the country to serve on the AACC Board of Directors in 2013, and then again in 2019. I'll tell you that we are very fortunate to have her. The students, the alumni, honor you, and the Rotarians welcome you here today. Dr. Lori Sundberg.
Thank you. And what maybe he didn't tell you, and no one else has told you, that I'm going to, he's a distinguished alum from Kirkwood. He won the award for distinguished alum. Oh gosh, I think it's 2 or 3 years ago, soon after I came. So thank you. So it's great to be here. I look out in the crowd and I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see some I don't know. So I hope I can get to meet some of you when we're finished here today. So thanks, Eric, for having me come today. I appreciate it. Always like to talk about my favorite topic, which is Kirkwood. So do I have the clicker? I do.
You can cue us.
I can cue you. Okay, let's go to the next slide. All right. So I'll start here because this is kind of like the elephant in the room, right? The pandemic and the aftermath. And you can go ahead and click the next slide. And so what were the effects for Kirkwood? So the first year, and you probably remember this, right before classes were to start on August 10th, we had a derecho show. And so it was actually exactly just 1 week before classes were set to start. And we were in the middle of the pandemic. And so Kirkwood took a larger hit in enrollment
than most other community colleges. We were down, I believe, that fall. We actually delayed the start of our term by a week. So we didn't have power for almost a week, I think. So we delayed the start, and our students were really severely impacted. Some lost their housing. Many who, were already challenged really just couldn't figure out how to go to school, how to go back to college in a pandemic, and then with the derecho on top of it. So our enrollment was down about 13% that fall, which was quite a bit. National average was about 10.5. So the second year, we didn't see as large of a decline. In fact, we were better than the rest of community colleges in the state. And I really just attribute that first year really to the derecho and the added pressure of that. So we feel like it kind of settled down a little bit. We have some room for optimism. Applications are up for fall, about 13%. But here's the challenge. Higher ed in general is down across the country. And salaries, there's a lot of upward pressure on salaries. And some students, some potential students are thinking, maybe I'll just go to work for a year or two. There's sign-on bonuses. There's, I can make $25 an hour at Target. Maybe I'll just delay college for a year or so. So while our applications are up, we still remain a little bit guarded as to how we think things are going to shake out. Okay. So all of us across the country, institutions of higher ed, we did get stimulus dollars. And so you're probably wondering, how did we spend those? We got about just under $50 million. And so half of that goes directly to students. And we did it in a couple of different ways. So the first way, we just kind of did block grants, help with tuition. But then in another way, this last set of government stimulus dollars, we actually empowered our advisors, and those are the people that meet with students regularly, to be able to have a little bit of cash that when a student came in and said, I don't have enough money for food this week, or I'm afraid I'm going to lose my apartment, or I have a flat tire, they were able to award them money. And we made a little bit of a research study. And what we found is that the students who received those emergency dollars at the time that they needed them actually were a much higher retention rate than students who did not receive it, as well as their GPA was higher. So we know that that works. And I was just on a panel with Barbara Wilson, and we did the higher education of the CBJ. And she made the comment that I don't know that a lot of you realize how many students are just one flat tire away from dropping out. And I see Lynette back there shaking her head. And that's what I would tell you, that all of us don't recognize that because that's not the circles that we travel in. But our students are really, really challenged. And in a pandemic in particular, financial challenges, a lot of times students just can't see the way clear. And they can't see a way forward. And so we know that those dollars work for us. And so we're now in the process of considering a capital campaign to actually add dollars to be able to, for our advisors to do that. What we also know is that students need more help while they're in high school to learn about college and to make those choices. And so we are actually sharing a position with high schools. They're called career counselor transition, high school transition career coaches. They are counselors by discipline, by trade. And we're trying to help students early on identify what career they might want to go into, what college they may want to go to, and try to help them think about those choices earlier in their career. I think we have 6 of them throughout our district. And we'd like to add more, of course. And it's a shared position. It's actually on our payroll, but we actually share that position with the high school. Been very, very well received. We also know that our students of color do not complete at the same rate as our white students. And so we have taken part of that money, invested it over the next 5 years into equity coaches. And I don't know if all of you are familiar, there's TRIO programs, so I'm going to talk about those coming up. The TRIO programs are first generation low income programs from the federal government. And they're, for the most part, the ones we have are intervention programs. And so they move the needle on completion and they move the needle on success. And so what we talked about in cabinet, they said, I want TRIO for all of our students of color. And so that's what we're doing. And so we're funding that through stimulus dollars. The last one is our foundation. And so we do have some, we have good reserves, and our foundation, we would like to help them fund their operation into the future. And so we are actually going to provide a gift to the foundation to allow them to, through the endowment, to fund their operation into perpetuity. We believe it's a good investment. They're there entirely to support the college. And so that's the balance of those dollars. Okay, so what's going on otherwise? Well, we're in the middle of what we call guided pathways. And it's a transformative initiative at the institution that is entirely aimed at student success. Our goal is to graduate more students, to retain them and to graduate them and get them either into the workforce or to one of our other colleges here in Iowa. We have a new initiative, Skill Up, CR. And this is a really unique partnership with the city. We have a couple partnerships with the city of Cedar Rapids. Workforce is a huge issue, and I know that's an issue for everyone. So Skill Up is a partnership between us, the city, and businesses. And the way it's going to work is we have funding from the state that we can provide training to individuals. And if the businesses are willing to hire them prior to them getting the skills they need, so while they're in class with us, if they stay employed for 90 days, the city will reimburse them for half of the payroll. Win, 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 all the way around. So we're thrilled with this opportunity. We also have another partnership that is aimed at getting more people into the workforce. And so right now in Iowa, we have a program through the state called the Last Dollar Scholarship. And it is a last payer. It is for any program, CTE program, so career tech program, that has a certain threshold for salary and a certain threshold for demand. And what the city said is, we're going to come in behind that, and we'll fund all the rest of the programs that aren't covered by that. So now, any high school senior, anyone just getting out, they can come to the college and get a scholarship, complete scholarship, under either the Last Dollar Scholarship or through the city. Okay, what else? Partnerships with Mount Mercy and St. Luke's. Both of the institutions are trying to rebuild their workforce, and they're partnering with us, not specifically on nursing, but in other areas as well, to help build scholarships there to help students get into the program and to get through. Nursing in particular is one of our more difficult programs to get through. It's challenging. And so a lot of our students work, and they work too much. And so we want to take some of that burden off of them so they don't have to work as much, and hopefully we'll get more of them through the program. And the other thing that we're doing, we're actually doing a study with our Iowa City campus. And so our Iowa City campus has largely been a campus that offers liberal arts courses. And I know you probably don't follow this, but across the country, liberal arts is a bit on the decline. Iowa State just had an article in the Gazette that they are reducing liberal arts. And that's not Kirkwood problem, not Iowa problem, but it's nationwide. And that's what they offer at Iowa City campus. And so we've had consultants come in to take a look and to find out what are the needs in Iowa City. What should we be providing in order to meet the needs of Iowa City? And so I don't want anyone to walk out of here feeling at all nervous. We are having a presence in Iowa City. That's not going to change. We just want to make sure that we're providing what we need to provide in Iowa City. And so they've looked at, so questions I had, is the location the right location? Is the facility the right facility? What programs should we have? We've met with employers. And so I think we have a pretty good handle on the data. The report just came out. And so we're going to begin now to like look at those recommendations and begin to work through that. So then next one, what's new? Okay, so we have 3 new, I hit them earlier, trio grants for Lynn and Johnson counties. And these are grants, some are intervention, some are outreach, but they are designed specifically at low income, first gen, marginal populations to encourage them to come to the college to get a degree. And so we have an ESL program in Iowa City that's for all students who English is not their first language, and we want to get them, provide support to them while they're in college. We just got Talent Search. It's an outreach program, and it is designed to reach out to students who are junior high and high school to talk to them about college. Again, it's for those students who are the first in their family to consider college. They might be low income, they might be both. And then Educational Opportunity Center is much the same, outreach, much the same, but it's targeted for the non-traditional students. So the student that's maybe 25 or older, trying to figure out like, what should I be doing? And can I upskill? Is there another career that I should be considering? So those are just, and just, I have to give a shout out to our grant writer. To get one of these federal programs is like a big deal. To get 3 in 2 years, I mean, I never, ever expected it. I mean, it is so over the top. These are programs that are transformational institutions because they reach that population that we're not reaching. And they can change. They can change families, they can change legacies, and so we're excited about it. Okay. And our aviation, you're already on it. You just know, like the next slide comes. You were just, wow. And I think probably a lot of you know about our aviation program. Partnership with, of course, Eastern Iowa Airport. And there's a huge shortage across the country of aviation mechanics. And it's a severe shortage. And Marty Lenz from the airport came to me, gosh, it's probably been 2 years ago. Maybe a little bit longer, right before the pandemic. It's like, Lori, we need to do this program. And as a college president, what I can tell you when someone comes and tells you you need an aviation program, you're like, oh my gosh, there's no other program more expensive, right? You have to have airplanes, right? You have to have aircraft. And so you have to have a hangar, and you have to, all of these things. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I said, Marty, you know how expensive these programs are. And he said, I do, but we really need it. And so then we did a lot of research. And in fact, we do need it. Iowa needs it, Eastern Iowa needs it, the country needs it. And so we were set to go forward, and the pandemic happened. And so it kind of got pushed to the back burner. And then last spring, the FAA had a great opportunity. And so Marty reached back out and said, I think it's time. I think that we need to try this. And so we did. We did not get the grant. It was for $500,000. We did not get it. But we did submit an EDA grant, Economic Development Authority grant, and for $1 million. And we just received notice that we made it through the first round. So fingers crossed on that one. And the FAA grant is coming back around, and we're going to try again. And tomorrow, our first plane comes. Oh, gosh. Been delayed, logistics, right? Yes, we have our first plane coming. We have a hangar. It's at Eastern Iowa Airport. Marty has graciously provided the hangar to us for 5 years. The first 2 years, we don't have any rent, and then it starts to kind of gradually get built in so that we can get the program up and going. The airport has been a good partner to us because the need is there. So that's kind of what's going on at Kirkwood. But I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have or take any comments. Yes, sir.
How has the joint programs with the high schools affected the liberal arts students at Kirkwood as far as numbers?
Yeah, so we're still strong with concurrent enrollment with liberal arts. I mean, it's down a little bit, but it's strong. We're also doing a lot of career tech for concurrent enrollment. What I would say to you, to every parent, is if your student is not in concurrent enrollment, you are missing out. It is, in Iowa, it's free. In Illinois, where I came from, it was not. Parents had to pay the tuition. And so I try to talk to parents to talk about it because it's one of the best opportunities in Iowa that there is. So we could definitely have more. What else would you like to know? Yes, Charlie?
Yeah, Lori, the nursing program, there's such a demand for nurses. Talk about the difficulty in scaling that up, because people say, well, you just need to have more capacity and then you have more nurses, but I know it's not that simple.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, yes, I can. So Charlie asked a question about the nursing program, about why we don't expand it. And so we did add a cohort this year. So we have added an additional cohort. But here's the challenge. The challenge is you have to have master's prepared faculty at a minimum. In some cases, you want to have a doctorate prepared. That's a problem because obviously they can earn a whole lot more in the private sector than they can earn with us. It's the first problem. Second problem is clinical sites. You have to have the availability of clinical sites. And can we be creative and have students their second and third shift? We sure can. But a student can't have their entire experience on a second and third shift because they just don't have the same opportunities to learn. So we have to kind of figure that out. So it's, someone said, well, why don't you just have it on weekends or nights? Well, we can, but that can't be the totality of their experience. And so it is complicated, but we do want to expand. I mean, we want to do everything that we can because that's what it means to be a community college, is to meet the needs of our community. And our community needs nurses right now. There's no question. Yes, sir.
Childcare has been such a challenge for so many people already because of the college considering any of those challenges in relationship.
We don't provide childcare on campus. And so it's kind of like nursing, it's complicated, right? And the reason why it's complicated is because there are minimums that you have to have, ratios that you have to have, instructor to students. Students' schedules change every semester. And so it's hard to staff because you don't know what you're going to have to need going forward. And so it's a challenge. What we are providing the educational program for those people who want to go into childcare. Because we feel like that's really where we can make the biggest difference is there. It's across the country. It's huge. Yes, Lynette.
Lots of us have enjoyed and benefited from the beautiful Kirkwood Hotel and the restaurant and things. I'm interested in your commenting on the hospitality programs that you're continuing to offer.
You bet. So what I will say on the front end is, like, you really don't want to own a hotel during a pandemic, right? But we did. And so the hotel is back. It is pretty much pre-pandemic levels of activity. And we have a culinary arts and hospitality management program that our hotel serves. And it provides a world-class education right here in Cedar Rapids. If you ever get a chance to come to the hotel and walk down the hallway to the areas where students learn, you will be completely amazed. It is an awesome, awesome facility. And so we're glad that things are moving in this direction. I know Jackie, who's our general manager, she's thrilled. We had a couple weddings last weekend, and it's just nice to have people back in the hotel. Thank you for the question. Yes.
So last night on PBS, there was a segment on the NewsHour about San Antonio, the school district there, which has a collaboration between public and private that is offering virtually full scholarships for students in low-income areas in San Antonio. You're probably familiar with it. And it just sounded thrilling. Are there any lessons there for Kirkwood?
Oh, sure. And we provide right now over $3 million in scholarship every year to students. And yeah, there's a whole notion around this. It's called a culture of caring, right? It is a way of thinking about a student in a holistic way, and to think about the needs that they have: food, housing, those basic needs, right? Childcare, all of those things, as well as support in terms of maybe counseling, in terms of just network of resources if they have children, those kinds of things. And so what we're talking about with our foundations, we're talking about scholarships, but we're also talking about those other dollars, those wraparound services that really help move a student. What I like to say is a scholarship gets the student to the front door. And so it gets them enrolled, but then life happens to them in that 2 years. And so how can we intervene during that 2 years to ensure we get them through? I mean, that's what's critical. So yes, we are paying attention to that. You're welcome. Yes.
Does Kirkwood have any program that does training for elder care workers? My mother's in elder care now, and I see that there's just this incredible need for people who are trained to be working with the elderly in all these facilities that we have available now. So is that a part of the program at all?
Yeah, I would say continuing ed has been working with Mercy in particular on this whole topic. And so we don't offer it right now, but they are and have communications about it, because you're right, it's an area of huge need for us and for our community. Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir.
Your program says you have a high percentage of people that graduate to stay in Iowa.
They do.
What is your percentage of out-of-state students in your system? And do you charge extra for out-of-state versus in-state people?
Okay, those are a lot of questions there. So, okay, first question. We know that we estimate between 82 and 83% of our career technical graduates stay in our district, and 90% stay within Iowa. And what was the rest of your question? Oh, how do we charge extra? Yes, we do. Out-of-state tuition is significantly higher than in-state tuition. And how many do we have from out-of-state? Gosh, I don't know off the top of my head. If I had to ballpark it, I would say probably 10 to 15% of them out-of-state. And then we also have international students. Our international enrollment is down. I mean, I'm sure you're not surprised about that, but we're down about 60% in our international enrollment. Yes, sir.
A recent study out of Harvard documented the learning loss over the period of remote learning over the last 2 years of the pandemic. Are you detecting anything like what's in your rate, and are you taking any measures to compensate for it?
Yeah, so this is going to be a huge issue facing us. And it is called learning loss that occurred during the pandemic. What's unfortunate, or what's going to be challenging for us, is that the learning loss has not been consistent among students, right? So a faculty member may have, in his or her class, maybe had 30 students, and say it's a math class. There could be concepts that would be 30 different areas where that student had learning loss that the other person didn't. And so we anticipate our faculty are going to have challenges in the next 2 to 3, 4 years in providing and meeting students where they are based upon that learning loss. Yes, we are very concerned about it. Yes, sir.
Looking at your total program, community college, what are the trends of people taking a program, and that's as far as they go in higher education, and how many of the students are transferring to other universities?
Yeah, so that's the deal right now, is that our liberal arts education, which would be our transfer, is down. Where we are just gangbusters and where they're projecting next year a 13% increase is in our continuing ed. Short-term certificates, right? People can come in and get a short-term certificate and or upskill, and then get a job or get a promotion with where they're working. That's where we're seeing a lot of growth. I just got back from the American Association of Community Colleges. I'm on the board there. And that is for community colleges, that's a trend nationwide. And so what we're doing is we're trying to figure out ways to do more of that. We know that there's a demand there. And liberal arts education is not going to be down forever. We're just kind of in a cycle right now. And so it will come back. It's just a question of when. I have a liberal arts degree, so it's coming back. That keeps me up at night. Pandemic kind of ruined me on that deal. So what keeps me up at night are things like the derecho, pandemic, and so why is that? Because they're very uncertain. People say, well, are you kept up at night about your budget? No, I'm not, because you're short on budget, you're short on state general aid, all those kinds of things. We're all used to that. What keeps me away are those things that I can't control and that we have to react to, and because those are most challenging. And trying to get students through. I mean, that's the deal, right? Is that here we are in the middle of a pandemic and all the challenges we have. How do we get them through? And we talk about learning loss. We also have a lot of mental health challenges. And what we also know is that employees, residents, people have had a lot of anxiety and a lot of uncertainty for too long, and they've been vigilant for too long. It's not healthy. And so I worry about that and how we're going to move past that. I think we're going to need a lot of resources for that. We're actually having a mental health day at Kirkwood. We're partnering with Newark Community College because we just believe that we need to talk more about that, and we need to talk more about it with employees, with students, with residents here to make it. I think there's the movement "Make It Okay," right? We need to talk about it more because we have come off something that none of us have ever experienced, and I think we're still processing. What else? Yes.
Are you seeing a demand from students or employers on students being upskilled in the autonomous vehicle space?
Not so far. Truck driving is really big for us. There's a severe shortage of truck drivers, but not so far on autonomous. I'm sure it's me. What else? Where are we with time, Eric? 12:57. Oh, there's a question. Yes, please, sir.
I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about your success in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, particularly among the staff.
Yeah, so we are doing better. Do we have a ways to go? We certainly do. We have increased, I think in the last few years, 4% in terms of our staff. But that's not where we need to be. Our diversity, equity, inclusion on campus, we have taken kind of a different approach. A lot of places, kind of hire a diversity officer, and we talked about that early on. And what we decided at Kirkwood is there's like 3 prongs really for us for DEI. And one is the faculty in the classroom. How do we help faculty in the classroom understand how to have an inclusive classroom? How do we help them make sure that, like, for example, the readings that they're doing are diverse, right? And if you have been, a white researcher over the years, right? That's the people that you've been reading in terms of research. And so how do we help them do that? So we have a group of faculty fellows that are working to help with all of our faculty. The other place we have to have help is in HR in terms of talent acquisition. We have to make sure that we're advertising and we're recruiting in places that we can get more diverse candidates. And the last area is directly with student success, because we know that our students of color are not as successful as what we want them to be. And so we have brought on the equity coaches that work directly and only with our students of color. So we've kind of taken a three-pronged approach, very unconventional, I would say, but we feel there's those three different areas that are very unique and that we wanted to push out in all ways.
I want to thank Lori again for coming down. And usually every year we love to hear a Kirkwood update and how the college is impacting our community and every one of us. And typically we do this in May, and it's always one of our favorite programs of the year. And Lori, I think thinking about a good program, I think a lot of questions means you've done a great job. It's a lot of engagement with the crowd, so thank you. And in honor of your presentation, our club makes a donation to the Rotary Polio Plus program in our speaker's honor. And the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation matches that 2-to-1. So that'll result in 70 polio vaccinations in your honor around the world. So thank you so much. And a special shout out to our AV team, Barb and Ryan today. I know with Zoom, we had some technology issues, and you guys deserve a big high five today. I had someone move over to me. Someone moved over to me halfway through the program and said, that guy holding up the phone should get a raise. He's going to have a so thank you. A lot of sweat running down my back. Yes. So final reminders, we've got another great program next Thursday. We're having Lisa Barnes from the Summer of the Arts program come to talk about what programming is coming to Iowa City this summer, which should be a good one. And we conclude every meeting with the Rotary 4-way test. So if you could please rise, and we'll have it up on the screen for those that don't have it memorized. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Hope everyone has a wonderful week, and we are adjourned.